My family drives me crazy and I just can't take it anymore. I, 23, female, have an older brother who's 9 years older than me. I moved out of my parents' house earlier than him and found a small place for myself that is really close to my job. The place is not the biggest, it's a one-bedroom apartment, but it is enough for one person, and rent is very cheap, so I'm extremely happy with it. I put a lot of work into it and made sure it's my little happy space. Recently, my brother started staying over now and then. I don't have a problem with that. He works the night shift, and my place is also closer to his job than my parents' house. The problem began when he started bringing more and more of his stuff to my place. He brought his PS4, started gaming in my living room, and is overall just being a terribly inconsiderate guest and treats me like our mom. I brought this up with my parents, and my dad suggested that I should let my brother live there and get myself a new apartment. He said I should look for a bigger place because my brother makes less money and he could afford my place and I could find something better. But I don't want a bigger apartment. I have no plans to have a family or partner where I would need anything more than one bedroom. And I put so much work into personalizing my apartment that this feels so unfair. My parents said I'd be an idiot for both, kicking my brother out now for staying over and not giving him the place. Is that true? Edit with some additional info. My brother does not pay rent to me. He used to stay here for only a couple of days, but it's been turning into weeks. Edit 2. I did contact my landlord as of today. She hasn't responded yet, but she's nice, so I hope she'll understand my situation. Also, additional info. I didn't know my parents or my dad would react like this. I thought he'd help me talk to him. We don't have a bad relationship. I am trying to figure out why he thinks my brother should have my apartment too, but my dad hasn't been responsive since that conversation. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Please do not let your family bully you into giving up the thing you worked hard for. Your brother is a grown-ass man, 32 years old, and can definitely find another place if he needs to, and can't be a considerate guest. That is your space, and you need to put your foot down. Have a strong backbone because clearly your parents are going to side with him once you make it clear you aren't giving him the place. Also, why would you need something bigger? What you have works for you. Again, don't let anyone bully you or manipulate you. He's 30. Let that man figure his own poop out. He isn't your responsibility. If you need him out, kick his ass out. Comment 2. I can't decide if your brother has always been your parents' favorite or if they are just so desperate to get a 32-year-old man out of their house that they are willing to screw you over in the process. Either way, not the idiot and get that parasite out of your happy place ASAP. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your parents are, though. They're obviously sick of having him under their roof and want him gone. But dumping him on you in a one-bedroom apartment is not the way. You tell them if they want him gone so bad they'll fork out to secure him an apartment of his own. And it's not your problem if they don't have the means to do that. Now, for the update. And if you're enjoying the video, hit that like button. Hi. First, I want to say thank you for all the encouragement in the comments of my last post. It took me longer to deal with this than I expected, but finally, I think I found a solution. Several people asked for an update, so here it is. I attempted to talk to my father again, but at this point I am assuming that a lot of the comments were right about them just wanting me to deal with my brother in their place. I took time off my work schedule to pack his poop together and waited for him to crash here after work again, since I still needed the key back. Looking back, probably not the best move, but I was stressed and tired. It was an awful fight, but it did end with him eventually leaving my apartment and returning my keys. The reason I didn't get the locks changed is because my landlord reminded me that this could be very expensive, and she wouldn't cover the cost for me. It's been several days and my brother has not contacted me since, nor attempted to enter my apartment. I'm still considering changing the locks and might do so soon with my landlord's permission and covering the cost myself, but it seems I have my space back. The thing that really bothers me is how my relationship with my parents suddenly suffered so much from this. My initial reaction when I asked them to help me throw out my brother and my dad responding with the apartment switch was that they couldn't be serious. Apparently they were. My mom did talk to me this week and said, since I am on good terms with my landlord, I could figure something out. It's completely ridiculous and almost comically evil at this point. I told her that that's not how renting a space works. I don't even know if this is pure entitlement or ego. Doesn't matter though. I decided to lower contact with them over this until they find out what they did wrong. Regardless if they do or don't, my family are not the main characters of my life, and I am done with being a doormat to them. It took some encouragement to stand up for myself, and I want to thank everyone who gave it to me. Comment 1. You handled this just right. I would at least find out what changing the lock or asterisk rekeying it would cost. You can usually just change part of it, and it's fairly easy to do it yourself. It's a valuable life skill. I took my own lock from home to home for a few years. Comment 2. You do know you can change your locks yourself, right? You need the new locks, a screwdriver, and the ability to read and follow basic instructions. A power drill would be helpful but is not necessary. Then the original poster responded with, "Well, it's a rental. I can't just change the locks without asking my landlord." Then another commenter responded with, "I did it as a 20-something by myself, and it was pretty easy. Just ask your landlord if you can have the locks changed. He doesn't need to know you're the one doing it. You'll still have to buy the lock, but it's a lot better than hiring someone to do it." Then the original poster responded with, "Then I'll ask again and tell her I'll cover the cost and look into doing it myself. Thanks for the tip." Comment 3. Well done. I don't think you need to change your key lock. You took him by surprise. He was probably entitled enough to believe he had a right to slowly take over your place, and probably didn't mind having you there. Someone has to keep it nice and tidy. So he didn't think you would question the arrangement and therefore didn't make another key. Now, for the next story. This is driving me crazy and I need some advice. For the past 8 months, my roommate Taylor and I have been sharing a flat, and our cohabitation has generally been smooth due to our tendency to keep to ourselves and not have much interaction. To note, we are in our early 20s. Taylor's boyfriend, Tristan, who lives about an hour away from her, comes over for dinner once a week. Throughout these dinner nights, I have never witnessed Taylor and Tristan cooking a fresh homemade meal, as they usually opt for fast food or prepare frozen meals for dinner. And while I hold no judgment towards them for this choice, this detail becomes significant later in the story. About 4 nights ago, I returned home from work to find Tristan in our kitchen. As I began preparing my own dinner, I struck up a conversation with him. Being from a Mediterranean Middle Eastern culture, I take pride in my cooking skills, having learned everything from the women in my family. Tristan couldn't help but comment on how incredible the meal smelled. Normally, I don't share my food as I budget my grocery expenses for one person. However, seeing that he appeared genuinely hungry, I decided to offer him some of my food. By the time Taylor joined us in the kitchen, he was already on his second plate. After Tristan explained the situation to her, Taylor gave me a side eye but remained silent, proceeding to cook some frozen chicken nuggets for herself. As they engaged in conversation, I continued cleaning up my dishes, minding my own business. Later, Tristan asked if he could have the recipe so that he could share it with his mom and she could try cooking the same dish. I suggested that I would message Taylor later about it. At this point, Taylor made a sarcastic comment about the meal being so good that even a picky eater like Tristan enjoyed it. Trying to maintain a lighthearted atmosphere, I attributed the deliciousness to my mama's cooking. In a semi-joking manner, Tristan then suggested that I cook for all 3 of them sometime, offering to pay for the meal and even bring free wine. We all shared a laugh, but Taylor seemed visibly disturbed by the idea and expressed that she wasn't interested in my cultural dishes, despite never having tasted them. Brushing off her slightly racist comment, I responded that once someone gets past the initial smell, the dishes taste heavenly. Tristan agreed. Unexpectedly, Taylor became very upset and started scolding her boyfriend for enjoying my smelly food, suggesting that from then on, we two should have dinner together. She stormed off to her room and Tristan followed her after apologizing to me. Since that incident, Taylor has started doing things she previously agreed not to do, such as tying up garbage bags and leaving them in the kitchen instead of properly disposing of them. Before I confront Taylor about her recent actions, I want to know if I am in the wrong in this situation. Am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. There was a guest in your home. You were cooking. They were hungry. What were you supposed to do? Eat in front of him. Assure Taylor you were not hitting on her boyfriend unless you were. Ask her how she wants such situations handled in the future. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you have to live with her. Then the original poster responded with, "Of course not. I am in a relationship and I would never cheat on my partner. I am going to talk with her really soon and will definitely ask that." Comment 2. Not the idiot. It seems to me you both did something to head off Taylor's jealousy, which I think would be perfectly understandable, and Tristan went further. Taylor needs to watch her temper. Then the original poster responded with, "I see this dude once a week, almost never without the presence of his girlfriend. I literally choose to eat in my room when he comes over so they could have privacy in the kitchen. I genuinely don't see how I did something to head off her jealousy." Comment 3. Not the idiot, but you are in the middle of an issue between them. This isn't your fault. This is Taylor being jealous without real cause. Taylor is probably going to be hurt no matter what you say, but apologize for the misunderstanding, not what you did, and then confront her on her recent actions. Now, for the update. And if you're enjoying the video, hit that like button. So, after having a very long talk, Taylor and I managed to make up. I confronted her about her outburst towards me and the neglect of house chores, but I tried to keep my tone softer than intended, seeing that she looked pretty depressed. During our conversation, I learned that Tristan had been pressuring her to learn cooking from his mother and online to make their dinners more enjoyable. She explained that she was trying, but her busy schedule with work and school made it hard to find time for cooking lessons. Last week, for the first time ever, she attempted to cook something for their weekly dinner. I wasn't at home, so I didn't know, but unfortunately, it ended up burnt and with other mistakes. She felt awful about not being able to cook, and after our incident, she felt hurt by Tristan appreciating my food instead of being understanding about her struggles. Taylor mentioned that she wasn't necessarily jealous of me, but she felt like Tristan didn't care about her feelings when he kept complimenting my cooking despite knowing her insecurities on this topic. She apologized for blowing up on me and acknowledged that her actions with neglecting chores just to annoy me were wrong. During our conversation, she mentioned that she finds my food to be smelly, and the kitchen retains the food odor for a long time after cooking. I assured her that I would take measures to minimize the lingering smells by opening windows while cooking and using air fresheners afterward to neutralize any strong odors. I also offered to teach her a few simple recipes when she has some spare time, hoping it would make her feel better about cooking. I emphasized the importance of cooking for herself and her well-being rather than just for her boyfriend, as her current eating habits weren't healthy for her body. I even offered to show her my meal prep routine, which would allow her to spend less time cooking and still have food ready in the fridge when she gets home. In the end, I believe we are on good terms now. I want to thank everyone for their comments and support throughout this situation. Now, for the final comments. Comment 1. Good for you for working through this. I personally would have been far less gracious, but why doesn't Tristan learn to cook if he wants homemade meals so badly? Then the original poster responded with, "No clue. I guess it's her job to find that out now." Comment 2. You should tell your friend to leave Tristan. He used your cooking as a prop to hurt his girlfriend intentionally. Then the original poster responded with, "I am just going to stay out of their business. I felt sorry once I heard her reasoning, but I honestly don't want to intervene in their relationship as we are not that close like I stated in my original post, and I really don't want to offend her again." Comment 3. Glad you were able to make up. Personally, I like most cooking odors, even the strong ones. My sister does not. We turn on the stove's exhaust fan while cooking. Try that if you have one. Hers is pretty strong. I find it annoying because I've spent my entire life before moving in here. She's widowed depending on smelling the food I was cooking. Some things have been overcooked because I didn't get that signal. Even a weaker fan should at least help. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.